Well, hello, my fellow patrons. This video is going to be certainly in the first instance and possibly forever a Patreon exclusive. It's been a while since I've released a Patreon exclusive, and it's been kind of busy and eventful lately in my life, and even finding the time to record the regular videos at times has been a little bit tricky, and I've had to use all sorts of ways to be able to do that. So this video is not going to be about any particular topic. If you guys have an idea about a topic that you would like me to discuss, feel free to share that in the comments, and maybe the next Patreon exclusive that I can release can be about that. That's completely okay. I'm always looking for ideas and suggestions. As you know, I have a series at the moment that I'm following more or less closely called How INFJs See ... It's not like the first time ever that I do something like that, but it's always good to return to these topics and see if there's a fresh angle that's being explored and stuff like that. So this specific video here, and possibly more in the future, I think they're going to be more like, again, absent any other suggestion from you guys, because this service is also, for you. You are my patrons, and I thank you very much for that. As I tirelessly repeat in my videos, the support is very generous, and I'm really grateful for it, and it is very, very useful to me. It is helps keep the channel afloat. So the book sales helped as well, hence why I continue promoting them. So like I was saying, this is going to be more in the form of a journal entry, so to speak. So whether this video has anything to do with INFJs is probably tenuous. I mean, it's probably going to be linked to the topic of INFJs insofar as I am an INFJ speaking about my INFJ life. My life is de facto and by implication an INFJ life, and so this is a little peek into my INFJ life, I guess. Because I was thinking, why not? Why not do something a little bit more personal, a little bit more, sort of like breaking the fourth wall, so to speak, something like that, But it's not like I have exactly planned what I'm going to talk about. But, there's been stuff going on and coming up, and, maybe there's some interest in that too, like sort of bringing a bit more of a personal level to the whole relationship. It's funny because, and I don't know if this is an INFJ thing, by the way, or if this is just like an introverted thing, or maybe it's not just an introverted thing, it's like a person to person type thing, peculiar to a person type thing. But, I'm often told, even by close friends of mine, that like, I'm not a person who actually shares a lot about myself and what I'm up to, that there's this kind of aura of mystery or not sharing much in privacy. So I don't doubt that that's something that can come across online as well. I sometimes hear that on Discord, that I maintain a kind of sense of distance. I'm not very active on Discords these days. I used to be more active on a number of different servers, mostly personality servers. I never really had a reason to join other servers, although I'm sure there's lots of like servers that are really cool, but I'm just not aware of them, and I only have a limited sort of portion of time to spend there. And lately I basically have not been on Discord much at all, but I'm on a few like personality servers, mostly cognitive type. You guys probably are aware of this service now and this model. They type by micro expressions. If you would like me to tell you a bit more about cognitive type, I could also do that. Like, I'm not a master at their model, but I'm somewhat familiar. I mean, reasonably well familiar with how it works. And I'm sure there's probably some among you, maybe most among you, who are still reticent or skeptical, by the idea that someone's type could be embodied in the way that their visual cues manifest in a systematic fashion. But once you actually give yourself the time to explore cognitive type, you realize, God, there's lots going on there. They probably don't have everything nailed down to a T, and there's still lots of work to be done on the topic. But there's undeniably some stuff that they have unearthed. If you give yourself the time to explore it. So if you like, at some point, a little primer on how cognitive type works. Obviously, that's different from my work with my channel, which is much more qualitative and like first-person experience type, phenomenological experience of what it means to be an INFJ. Cognitive type is a totally different approach. It's much more externalist than internalist, but there's at least a degree to which the two approaches are complementary. One focusing on the internal, the lived experience type stuff, the phenomenon type stuff, and the other much more on the sort of third-person scientific external determination of type by means of by empirical sort of objective means. So I'm active on that channel when I'm on Discord, and there's all little offshoots from like it's so easy to create a Discord channel, I guess, that I have kind of made friends with some people over on the cognitive type server, and they've created their own servers. So I joined their servers, at least some of them. Not all of them are actually about personality. Like it all goes back to Rome, like cognitive type being Rome. But there are sub-servers, or connected servers, I should say, offshoots on personality, but there's also others on more mystical stuff, historical stuff, philosophy, religion as well, So I don't exactly know why I was talking about that, but yeah, on Discord, people like, I'm reasonably well known on Discord, at least on those servers, and a lot of the people that I met on those servers knew me already, like from YouTube. They had at least seen some videos by me before, and they tend to say that, like, Ren, you come across like you're very nice, you're dignified, you're smart, you are interesting to interact with, but there is this sense of privacy and keeping people at arm's length, which is really interesting, because if there's one thing that's definitely not deliberate, it's that. But I think you could actually give it an Enneagram instinct kind of twist. I don't know if you guys are into the Enneagram instincts, but the SOSP or SPSO instinctual stack is probably what fits me best. There is debate online and inside my own head about whether what my Enneagram is. Like, I do identify as a 6 for the most part, 6 with a 5 wing, but there's quite a few people on various Discord and Enneagram Discord servers as well that don't think I'm a 6. Interestingly, some of those Enneagram servers actually also use visual expressions, visual cues to type, micro expressions. But anyway, there's like a debate about whether I'm a 6 or a 1, which is really interesting. Because I remember when I first explored Enneagram, my idea was that I was either a 4 or a 5, so for years I think I oscillated between 4 with a 5 wing and a 5 with a 4 wing, and it's so interesting to think that I've neither one. Well, I might have 5 as a wing if I'm a 6 with a 5 wing, and in my tri-type I certainly have, well, it's not even certain, but it's likely that I have 4. So my tri-type, in no particular order, leaving aside the question of my main Enneagram lead, we 1, 4, 6. Some people think 1, 3, 6, but I don't believe that is the case. Like 1, 4, 6 not only is the majority view, but also it explains so many things in my life. The fact that, well, look at my professional situation. Like I explored. I'm sure that you have seen in some like videos of mine lately that I have, I quit a job in Paris quite quickly. I left Paris because I really didn't like it there, and it really wasn't for me. Neither the job, which wasn't what I had expected, And Paris, I really didn't warm to. I think if you live inside Paris, within Paris, you'll have a good time. But Jesus, if you live in the suburbs, because the suburban, in the United States, say, like, often has this kind of bourgeois, sort of middle class kind of connotation, but la banlieue in French, suburbs, has a working class connotation. And then, like, the suburbs in Paris are far from just working class. It's so horribly, exorbitantly expensive to live inside Paris that, like, you're very likely to end up living in the suburbs. And it's just like constant just being on public transport, people everywhere, people making long faces, grey faces, lacking sun and rain, and you feel like an absolute ant. I really, really didn't like it. Now, if I had been type 3, I might have been like, okay, let's plan how I'm going to do this, and, maybe I'll stick around, and I'll think in terms of, like, the, reputation and career and stuff, and maybe I'm oversimplifying type 3 a bit, but, like, the idea that, if something was not for me, I'm gone. I'm just following my instinct to just not compromise on my sense of authenticity, like, I think speaks to strong 4 elements. But apparently not me, and knowing Enneagram a bit more now, I think I'm convinced by that. So anyway, that's a lot of rambling around this idea that maybe making videos that are more about myself. I wouldn't necessarily say confessional, but more about myself. Maybe they are. Maybe that's something that you guys would enjoy. We'll see. This is the first attempt anyway. So yeah, the current situation is I'm in the south of France. I'm living at home, and I'm still applying for jobs without being entirely certain that this is actually what I want to do, as in, like, I'm applying for jobs on the basis of what my CV is like at the moment, so defining a certain path. And part of what happened in my mind when I left Paris was thinking maybe I just want something completely new. And that's something that's part of the tough decisions that I discussed in a video lately. But it's still not entirely clear to me what I would do. So far, like, I'm applying for stuff. I'm applying for jobs in NGOs in my area of specialization. I'm also applying for jobs in universities, but not as teaching, because it's very, very hard to be to get a permanent contract as a lecturer, as an academic. As you know, it's very hard in France. It's very political too. More on the administration side, but there's interesting projects in my university in Marseille that they want to internationalize it further, develop partnerships with the European universities, and that's kind of in my wheelhouse a little bit. So I'm looking into that too, but it's still an exploratory stage. In fact, I'm traveling to Switzerland tomorrow. I'm leaving here at like 6:15 in the morning, and I'm coming back to Marseille, not quite here, but Marseille at like midnight. So it's a long trip to some town, just a little bit. It's not quite in Geneva. It's a place called Lausanne, so it's a little bit more inside Switzerland by the lake. Beautiful area, and I'm interviewing for a job there. Actually, it's not. I had a first phone interview, and I'm taking a test on site. I'm taking a test on site. I have to be present on site, so I have to travel. But I'm flexible at the moment. It's not like me and my wife will only be joining me for Christmas on the 19th, so in about 15 days. So I can do that. It'll be a little adventure. Ran on the way to Switzerland to take a test and then come back. It's going to be nice. I mean, it's going to be cold over there, but I don't mind. So maybe I'll make a little short or something like that. I don't think I'll have time for like a full-length video, but maybe I'll make a little short. If the humor or if the mood, I should say, if the mood takes me. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, and again, it's kind of that NGO. Salaries are good in Switzerland. That's one of the appeals, but I know by now that money is really not everything for me, and it does matter, but it's not number one. So we'll see. They're quite Christian as well, so that they are a bit Christian, I mean, that's fine. I don't mind. I identify as Christian myself, but it depends how Christian they are. Like maybe if they're very, very committed Christians and you pray together all the time, maybe that would be too much, but I figured might as well go over there and continue exploring, bring it to the end. Anyway, I'll stop here because it's been a long rambling session. Thanks again for supporting me, guys, and I'll see you next time, either in the second diary episode soon, hopefully, or discussing a topic that one of you guys will have suggested in the comments. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. Looking forward to seeing your comments and interacting with you, because you guys are the life of this community. Okay, see you soon, guys. Bye bye.